At the top here. I did this a few years back, back in the 2019 San Diego Comic Con, which also, by the way, I guess I want to make sure I have the chat nice and easily accessible for me. I'll pop that up. I'm just kind of setting things up for myself there. That's what I was looking for. It's been a minute since I streamed at all on any of my channels, and I don't think I've ever streamed on this one. Yeah, but I did this back in 2019 when they had their San Diego Comic Con Hall H panel. That was a lot of fun. They announced Eternals, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi, WandaVision, Loki, Doctor Strange. Was that the full announcement of What If? I think it was. I think What If 2019, yeah, What If wasn't a thing yet. That was totally a new announcement. Hawkeye, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Widow, and then hilariously enough, Blade. Everything they've announced from that has come out at this point, except for Blade. We're just never going to get Blade. I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine last night. I plan to not really talk about it during the stream because it's too new. I don't want to be like spoiling things, but there was a cheeky little reference in there to the fact that we still don't have Blade after all this time, and I thought that was pretty funny. There was also some larger kind of meta references to like, can we please be done with all this multiverse stuff? Not just Marvel. The joke was kind of more like, is this really what movies and TV have become? Is just farming nostalgia? It's funny to simultaneously be doing it and making fun of it and acknowledging that there's much more of it to come. And so I thought that was all pretty funny, but I'll reserve my actual thoughts on that for a video someday. I'm actually working on a video for Deadpool 1 and 2, more of like one of my longer style kind of review, retrospective discussion style videos. I wanted to have it ready before the debut of Deadpool and Wolverine. Too many other things came up, wasn't quite ready in time. Yeah, so then at this one, I would have done the same. 2022, I 3 years difference. We had lockdowns and everything, so it was a very different time. And like, okay, it's been a minute since they've done one of these big, many years spanning announcements. And I was camping that weekend. I was out with some friends. I had a blast. Me and my buddy Zach set aside a tiny bit of time and just were kind of refreshing our feeds over and over to see what all got announced. Will Blade become the new The Flash in terms of like ridiculously long, drawn out, many delays and all that? Maybe. I can't believe it. The joke's been made 1,000 times at this point. I'm not adding anything. Just the fact that like all you need is a cool ass guy, which you have Mahershala Ali, killing vampires. It can just be John Wick with vampires. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. And they've rewritten the script so many times they can't figure it out. I think someone summarized it really well for me one time, just on like Twitter or something, that Marvel needs to live up to what the original trilogy was. Blade Trinity kind of sucked, but the first two are great, the second one especially, and it's like they have to be at least that good. They can't be worse than that. When it comes time to reboot X-Men and Fantastic Four, X-Men was spotty, Fantastic Four has kind of never been good. They can do what they want with those. But like the Wesley Snipes Blade movies, people love those movies. They have to be at least that good. So I think they're really kind of a little terrified. Hopefully now that they've cut their teeth, kind of, I'm pardon the pun just because it's a vampire movie, with an R-rated thing with Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe they'll go at it a little bit more confidently. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens with that movie. Mahershala was already old. He was like 50 when they cast that. You know what? I guess I should have a second thing open so I can look stuff like this up without interrupting everything else I have pulled up. He is now 50 years old. If they film Blade today, they're filming it with a 50-year-old day-walking vampire. And so he's going to start showing his age really soon. He's such a great casting, and they've kind of wasted it a little bit. As a part of the celebration for, I'm just flipping over my Twitter feed here, as a celebration for Deadpool and Wolverine debuting, Marvel did like a fun thing last night with drones. And so I'm trying to find that. I don't know. There's a bunch of DC stuff going on, but I think it's mostly comic book stuff. I think it's mostly comic book stuff and the Penguin, basically, which they just showed. The Penguin and one of Marvel's shows are going to air like a day apart, and it seems like not great for them. Geez, am I ever gonna find this thing? I'm so glad. I had all these spoiler filters turned on for Deadpool for like months. So all I had seen was the trailers they were playing in the movie, and I was really glad for that, because there were a lot of fun things to kind of find, to discover in in the viewing. All this garbage about Dexter. I didn't realize how long ago the thing I'm looking for was. On track, probably to be the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. Has the potential to be the highest grossing X-Men movie of all time. It's kind of a little bonkers how well that one's performing. I don't think anyone's all that surprised, but it still is crazy. You're kidding me. Okay. I just, my cords are getting in my way. My mic cord. This is what I was looking for. They ended the premiere with this fun drone thing where they're up in the sky and they're creating these images. And apparently the last two were Galactus and Fantastic Four. So we know for sure they are going to be announcing Fantastic Four, sharing more details about that. We already know quite a bit about it. More stuff about Captain America, sure, probably. Oh yeah, the Creature Commandos trailer talking about DC stuff. Yeah, the first trailer did look cool. I'm so looking forward to what they all have to reveal over the coming years. Superman finishes filming in like a day or two, or like it's on that sort of scale. Like it's almost done filming, and it's like under a year from release. I'm quite looking forward to that one. I'm very excited for what James Gunn's doing with the new universe. Fabricio says Ollie just is a vampire. He hasn't aged a lot. There's a potential he won't age dramatically in his tenure with Marvel, but we'll see. Thunderbolts with the little asterisks. It was an interesting change to the title and format. I am curious about that. Marvel has multiple through 2029. I doubt we're going to be mapping that out. We are probably going to get more details on Blade, Fantastic Four, possibly a Midnight Suns, like Doctor Strange, maybe Wanda, play around with some of those characters. Hopefully we get more details on Avengers 5. What's the new title? What's that going to be about? I have no idea. Maybe some details on Armor Wars. Spider-Man 4. That's a big one. We'll probably hear more on that. Shang-Chi 2. Maybe X-Men. I think they'll be putting that somewhere after Secret Wars, so I don't think so really. But they do have these 3 lingering, undated projects. So I'm thinking Midnight Suns, Thor 5 would probably be another decent guess. Maybe a Guardians movie with a new lineup. More likely something like a Black Panther 3. They've kind of made it sound like Eternals 2 is dead. That maybe Black Panther 3 is the most likely. Like, they're on their back foot right now. There's jokes about this in Deadpool that they just really are kind of at a low right now. In terms of reception, box office. Like, Ant-Man did poorly, Guardians did well, Marvel's did really poorly. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine's outgrossed it already. How crazy is that? So they're just going to be playing it safe. They lost Jonathan Majors, and just like, they are going to be so cautious here. They just need to, like, audiences are going to start leaving. They're not going to show up for every single Marvel thing anymore. That's already taken place, in my opinion. I think the shift has already happened. So I think they're going to have to kind of really be careful for the next few years, reestablish a lot of goodwill from the audience. And then I think post Secret Wars, so in a couple years time, they can worry about like possibly rebooting fully, and then they can be risky again. But for now, I expect a lot of multiverse stuff and a lot of safe bets and what have you. As far as I know, there is nowhere to watch Hall H. I think they are very, very careful about locking that down so that people aren't leaking things. I don't even know if that's the concern, because people are like reporting on it constantly and all that. and people will be posting pictures and things as they come up. We can follow along with that. That's like the sort of stuff I'll be talking about and sharing, which actually what I think I will do here. I think I could, if I kind of slide that around to just make sure there's kind of a nicer, clearer view of everything. I feel pretty good about that. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, things will kind of just start trickling out. I think discussing film is good. They'll be good to keep an eye on. They're really quick with things, so I'll just kind of keep refreshing that page. I didn't expect to see me covering this. Well, I'm a huge comic book movie nerd. I specify that because I don't think I've actually read that many comics. I grew up with the cartoons and the movies and things, and that was way more my entry point. And trading cards, weirdly, I owned a lot of Spider-Man and X-Men trading cards. If Peter doesn't get the symbiote in what did I just say? All of a sudden I doubted everything about how that word is pronounced. Anyways, if he doesn't get it in Secret Wars, we riot. They're seemingly wrapping up Tom Hardy's Venom arc. Like, The Last Dance, I think, will be the end of that. And they've already kind of positioned themselves to bring that over to the MCU. So I'll be really interested. I think probably, if not Spider-Man 4, they will introduce that for Secret Wars. I think it would maybe work better to introduce with 4. So long ago, I made a video on what I thought they should do, and I think they should have a movie with Matt Gargan, Scorpion, probably being funded by J. Jonah Jameson, and give Matt Gargan the symbiote before Peter gets Venom, just so you can have him square off against Venom before becoming Black Suit Spidey. And I think that would be their best bet. So I think Spidey 4 should be primarily about like Scorpion. I don't know. A lot of how I thought that would all come together was making a lot of assumptions about how the last few years would go, and it didn't account for the movies becoming crappier, lockdowns, writers' strikes, all sorts of things that ended up kind of redirecting their course there. I just didn't expect to stream. Yeah, I almost didn't do it because it's kind of a weird time. It's like 7 p.m. on a Saturday. I kind of had other stuff to do, but I was like, you know what? This is fun. And they only do it every like 3 years has been the pattern so far, 2-3 years. So I was like, you know what? This is going to be great. Okay, we got other people in the chat who are also comic book movie nerds more so than the comic books themselves. That's got to be increasingly common these days. Oh yeah, I meant to look through this. I didn't. So the 2 years ago, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion. I didn't even finish that one. I watched like 2 episodes and it sucked. I'll finish it someday, but it sucked. Ant-Man and the Wasp was like the worst movie they've ever made. Guardians 2 was really good. And I didn't mind She-Hulk. She-Hulk was pretty good. Black Panther was okay in my mind. Echo was not that great. Loki season 2 is better than I thought it would be. Everyone else liked Loki season 1 more than I did. So I went in with low expectations. And honestly, the first half of it was and the payoff, the finale of that season made all of it kind of worth it. Like, so they did good with that. That's so funny. They shared more Blade details, but still not ready. Ironheart, didn't care about her in Black Panther 2. Don't really care about her series. Agatha all along, that's going to be fun. I am kind of excited for that. Daredevil Born Again, that's going to be sick. Captain America Now Brave New World, that one's going to be a train wreck. They've reshot that movie like 3 times. It was supposed to be out by now, you know. Thunderbolts was supposed to come out when Deadpool did. It was so ambitious of them to think that they were going to release 2 Avengers movies in the same year, like next year. It makes so much sense that everything got delayed and reshuffled. Have a lesser villain for Spider-Man 4, like the Chameleon. I think something like that could work. I am terrified that Sony's going to get in the way and force a bunch of garbage we don't want to see. Maybe we'll get Spider-Man and Daredevil team up or something like that. I would be okay with that. I would rather it finally be a proper solo Spidey-Man movie where Tom Holland is left on his own. He doesn't have a support system and he's just struggling. And we haven't gotten to see enough of that with him. Some, but not enough. So I would be excited to see more of that. Uh, you wish that the MCU spaced their movies out more. I feel like just the stream model of dropping whole seasons at a time, 4 more projects in a year, yeah, it's too much. People aren't following along with it, and they know that. The commentary, the discussion, the interviews from like Kevin Feige and co for a few months now is like, we're scaling back, we're rearranging, we're coming up with new plans. It's really interesting, and I simultaneously enjoy these movies for what they are, but I also have an extra layer where it's like I just enjoy the production and the scale of it and what goes on to them and how they got to move those pieces around and change their plans and things, and like trying to produce movies, this many movies is like no one's ever done it before. And so watching them actually start to flounder and struggle with it is very fascinating. And how are they going to course correct? What's that all going to look like? That sort of stuff's interesting. And then DC's like, we're rebooting, you know, Fox is off the table. Sony just shits the bed constantly. And so their competition is about to be DC once again. And so it is totally important that they were like, okay, we need to course correct and fix things. And so they did it at seemingly the right time before DC gets way up in front of them again, which they're starting to a little bit. I got a cat clawing at the door. Oh, really just absolutely mangled that carpet there, Misty. How dare she? just carving a goddamn hole in the carpet. Oh yeah, maybe they'll finally announce Nova. I think they've been teasing a little bit that having a Nova series or movie is like in their plans. I don't know which exactly will be coming up first. Panel starting soon. People are all seated. Fog machines are being dispersed. I actually can't believe Misty's being this chill. She's almost never this chill. Just desperate for a hang, I guess. She doesn't even like being picked up very much. I'll place her on the futon there. She can chill. Yeah, so like very, very approximate predictions of like what might be coming up. I figure they will, other than details on existing things, a new plan for Avengers 5, details on Spider-Man 4 Shang-Chi 2, and maybe 3 new movies. That's kind of what I'm expecting we're getting. And then is it Disney D23? Their like annual Disney event, they've already said that's when they're going to go talk about their new plans for the upcoming TV series. And so I think that'll be fun too. Maybe I'll stream that one as well. It depends kind of when that comes up. I remember when I streamed this one, we were wrapping up the stream. I was about to call everything off, and last minute, someone in the chat was like, "They just announced Blade." It was like, what? Like, isn't it over? I thought they were like trolling, and I refreshed the page, and there it was, like the logo up on the screen. Lights are turning down. Panels now beginning. So here, okay, we have an hour, a little under an hour, but I'm curious who all they're going to bring out on stage and everything. And Batman 2 got confirmed to start filming early next year. I did see that as well. That's exciting. It seems like that release date isn't going to be disrupted at all. I can't explain how excited I am for that, but I am. His inclusion and interpretation of the Joker has me worried for Batman 2, because I want it to be a little bit more fantastic, and I think he's going to keep it all grounded and stuff. They're talking about having Clayface in there, and you can't really do a grounded Clayface unless they just like are a master of disguise, and that's kind of not the same. So I don't know. I don't recall if Matt Reeves has ever said what he plans to do with the more fantastical elements of Batman, and maybe he's not gonna, and they're gonna save that for the DCU with Andy Muschietti's Brave and the Bold. But yeah. I loved Batman, loved the Batman, excited for the Penguin, and just got my fingers crossed that Matt Reeves, I gotta trust that guy, because those 2 Apes films that he did are incredible, and the Batman was incredible, so I gotta trust him, and they're giving him the time to, like, an extra year to work on the script and everything, so I gotta trust that they are being protective of that, and they know that what they have is like important. I did hear they canceled the Gotham Police show they were planning on doing. I think that could have been an interesting way to explore that corruption that we all know is there. And they make constant reference to it, but there could have been a cool point of view show on that. And it sounds like they canceled that one, and they're instead planning to do other spin-offs. So presumably they're going to make a Catwoman show. Body horror Clayface. Clayface would be so fun if you actually had a mystery movie with Batman where he's trying to find a criminal who can change their appearance. It would be so fun. My buddy Zach and I made a video on that years ago at this point. That wasn't the only, there was a larger kind of Batman. We were theorizing what could Matt Reeves the Batman be about, and like who would we cast as different villains and things. And one of our points of conversation was just like Clayface would be a sick Batman villain to have in like a cinematic thing. Not the primary. Have like Mr. Freeze or someone and Clayface. Have both of them and just have Batman kind of torn in two directions. I don't know. So many cool things. Entirely a separate conversation. Just get excited about it. My partner, my girlfriend, had to endure me nerding out the last 24 hours since seeing Deadpool. She saw it too, and she's like interested, but she said that movie wasn't really for her. She didn't understand a lot of the references, and so this is a fun outlet for me to nerd out a little bit with all of you. If Matt Reeves can make talking monkeys grounded, I think he'll do fine with Clayface. I guess that's the thing. There's a distinction to be made there. Oh, my cats are screwing with each other through under the door. Is that when I say grounded, I mean like eliminating the fantastic elements. You're not going to have a guy who keeps himself alive with cryo freezing and shoots an ice gun. You're not going to have someone whose appearance changes on the fly. It would instead be someone who is just a good actor and wears masks or something. Like, that's the grounded version. Like, the Planet of the Apes movies are rooted in a familiar reality, but they still are fantasy. That's my distinction between grounded and fantasy. And so I hope his Batman movies are more fantasy than they are grounded. A potential X-Men versus Avengers Instagram account has surfaced online. That's a very direct, specific Instagram handle, but it's not impossible that already existed. That would be insane if the first thing they announced was, oh yeah, we're going to do X-Men versus Avengers. Would that replace Avengers 5? Wait, 4? 5? 5. I'm losing track of how many Avengers movies there's been. Deadpool and Wolverine. It was fun. I don't want to spoil it for people. I had a lot of fun with it. And so if you care about it at all, I think you're going to enjoy it. You should get out there and check it out. Nexus Point News. Nexus Point News? What is that one? Oh, that's also the on Twitter though. Kevin Feige's now on stage. Oh, this is a little bit more detailed. Maybe I will follow this one for at least a minute here. I can alternate between them, see who's providing the best updates. So is that people leaving or coming on stage? Oh yeah, there's like Simu and who is that? Geez, who all am I seeing here? Kumail Nanjiani, is that his name? They came out in their yellow and red and did like a prayer. That's pretty funny. Oh, what would my main lineup of X-Men look like? Leave Wolverine out for at least a little while. Cyclops, I need to see him in a leadership role for sure. I probably want to see Gambit in there. Although, I don't know, I think I would like it if they stripped it down to a team of like 5 heroes to start off with. So have Xavier, probably like Cyclops, Jean, and then like, is it like Beast, Angel, and Kitty? Are the other ones that made up like some of the original, something stripped down like that. Maybe not Beast. I can't decide, but it would be small. I talked to my buddy Zach about this once, and he said he would go totally sideways with it, and he would have like Juggernaut on the team and shit like that people really aren't like expecting, and play around with the heroes and villains a little bit the same way the comics so often do. So Deadpool themed choir, we got. Oh, I guess okay. Pixar, Disney, Deadpool, Woody. That's pretty funny. That costume is pretty good. The moderator, Rob Delaney, says they're focusing on 3 movies mainly in this panel. So whether that's the unannounced ones, Jubilee would be cool for sure. Oh, that's the Thunderbolts cast. My cats are being annoying as hell. Oh, that's totally David Harbour. That might be Daniel Destin Craig. Is that his name? The director of Shang-Chi. So they're probably going to talk about Shang-Chi. That looks like Monica Rambeau. I can't remember the actress's name. That looks like the actress who's in The Menu, whose name I can't remember. We're getting quite the mix. I got to kick these cats out of here. They're destroying my carpet. Right. Thank you for that, animals. Gene, so they can do the Phoenix story right. Honestly, they shouldn't even bother. Maybe if they make their own X-Men movies for the next 10 years, they can do that, but they better not rush to try and do Dark Phoenix. It's like not worth it. A few years ago, Tom Holland made a joke about not having a Falcon movie. I said I didn't have a movie, but you're not 5'11". Why did they share that as an update? About not having a Falcon movie. How short is he? He's like 5'9". Is that true? I guess it's like they have a funny relationship. I guess that's like I don't know, funny to have those little digs or whatever. But I don't know why that got tweeted out. I guess they're just trying to tweet everything, trying to not miss a moment here, which I should be appreciative of, not shitting on. Third time's the charm for the Phoenix story. Not useful for me right now. Brave New World is a return to the grounded aspects of Winter Soldier. It's funny that they say grounded when I'm just out here talking about that. That's a movie where it works. I don't think they ever gave Falcon, Sam Wilson, I don't think they ever gave him super serum. So he is a regular dude suiting up as a superhero with a flight outfit and stuff. And like, if they're doing an espionage thriller sort of thing, we're going to have like Red Hulk in there. But I think if they keep it grounded in the way that the Winter Soldier was, I think that'll still work. But of course, they would compare it to the movie that's like endures as one of their most popular movies. It's about the most obvious way you could try to sell that, to a movie that I think people are dramatically losing interest in the longer it gets dragged out. They said they're going to focus on 3 films this year. And I'm assuming that something like, hey, we're still making Brave New World doesn't count. I hope it doesn't count. Everyone expects so much of these panels. It's an hour every few years. There's no way it would be that simple. I think the new movies that we don't already have details on are what's going to be the focus. That's how I'm interpreting that. I guess I'll find out soon enough. I guess it's probably fine to share this stuff. The fact that they in the reshoots they added Giancarlo, like he's gonna have such a tiny role in the movie, and he just looks like random soldier or whatever. It feels like such a stupid waste of an amazing actor. Not that Marvel hasn't done that before, but it's like, come on, guys, are you shitting me? That's like, I hope there's more to that character than it currently feels like there's going to be. Oh, here's a question for me. Do you think Marvel should do Elseworld stories like DC so they can make different types of movies that aren't a part of the main continuity? I think they started to. No, they didn't even start to try to do that. I was going to say, like, they started doing those special presentations where it was like they literally made Werewolf by Night and then abandoned that. that was such a cool opportunity for them to play around with that sort of stuff. And What If was another opportunity to do that sort of thing. I think at this point, it's like too deep in. I think they might as well wait till post Secret Wars and a potential reboot or whatever. But I think after whatever 40 movies, it would be too confusing. They're already being more cautious about, okay, maybe you don't have to have watched all the TV shows to understand these movies, but massive amounts of Deadpool and Wolverine wouldn't make sense if you didn't watch Loki, specifically season 1, but kind of both. And I think they're going to steer away from that a little bit, make things a little bit more standalone, because they're not going to watch everything. They're already not watching everything. And so if you all of a sudden are like, hey, this one doesn't matter to the larger continuity, I don't know if you can possibly sell people on that, like if they'll believe it, essentially. So they'll either be constantly struggling against themselves to make it clear to the public that it's not a part of the continuity, or people are just going to ignore it, or like it seems like a bit of a lose-lose. So I bet they'll stick with their continuity. Yeah, Giancarlo was not in this movie until like a month or two ago. They have Sabra, who is like an Israeli hero, who is a secondary, tertiary character in this movie, and they have given her a new name, reduced her scenes to just not touch any of that politics with a 10-foot pole, and they added him instead. That movie is going to be so hacked together. I hope that for like Anthony Mackie's sake and the sake of an important legacy like Captain America, that they figure it out and like do something interesting with it. But the production of that movie, the fact that it's delayed, is already very promising. The fact that they've given themselves time to course correct is good. That's a good thing, but like that movie's not starting off in a very good place. Tim Blake Nelson teases that they've written a great story for the leader, so I do enjoy that they're bringing him back and bringing the leader back. And I think they're bringing Betty Ross back, Liv Tyler specifically. It's been 16 years. Tell us about him now. It's cool. It's cool that they're revisiting that. I hope they pull that off. Giancarlo is playing Sidewinder, King of the Serpent Society. That's not who he was theorized to be playing. I can't remember who people felt they had figured out. That's really interesting. Because I'm almost positive they were making a Serpent Society movie, and then it changed to what it is now, and now it's changed again to a Serpent Society movie. Or maybe I'm even thinking further back. Maybe that was Captain America 3 or something that was supposed to be Serpent Society. I want Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can't believe people penciled that in already. I literally just wanted to figure out, okay, production, Serpent Society. Yeah, it's nowhere else in the article. I swear that was their plan previously at some point, and they had backed off that. That's kind of funny that they brought that back around. A clip showing Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross directly talking about the Celestial coming out of the Earth. Maybe now people can stop posting that thing that it's like, we're 8 post-Eternals movies in and no one has addressed this yet. Even though I think it did come up at one point briefly, but not directly or with any way that had any ramifications on anything. Adamantium will be introduced in the MCU with Celestials being made out of it. So they could go harvest that, maybe, possibly. That's an insane amount of that material. That's crazy that they feel... I guess they could say it's being introduced, but it could have always been there. And it's like the characters in the world are discovering it. I think that would be better, maybe, than just saying it materialized out of nowhere. I guess was brought to Earth by the Celestials. I don't know. Why are they giving Sam all the Hulk villains? I know. I don't know if Sam Wilson has his own rogues gallery as Cap. I don't really know the depth of Captain America's rogues gallery roster either. But it's a little silly, isn't it, how deep they're going with that. Yeah, the reshoots have been messy. Wikipedia mods are fast AF. Yeah, I love that this sort of stuff is like big enough news that there are people out there who, the same way I'm sitting here streaming it and we're all hanging out watching it, someone out there is locked in, like, I'm gonna update that Wikipedia article the second that information's out there. Look at him, he's so cool. And they're just gonna have him playing, I don't know, soldier. If he doesn't at some point turn into a freak lizard man, I'll be disappointed. Is what I'm telling you. Harrison Ford was such a funny recasting choice. Probably they'll kill him off or something, right? Because I can't imagine Harrison wanting to play that for a long time. Isn't the guy like 85 years old? 82. Okay, he's not quite, but he's still, come on. Like, and he clearly just like isn't that interested in like franchises. So I think it's pretty funny. Harrison Ford turns into Red Hulk right in front of the White House while giving a speech. That's unrelated. I mean, it is Red Hulk, but it's like not from the movie or anything. Kind of crazy to apparently be the president and like openly in front of everyone be like, I'm a Hulk, which is funny that The Boys just so directly was dealing with the idea of superheroes being in government, which the new season of that was like fine. It was pretty good. I think it mostly held up to the show's legacy. I think it was probably a bit of a step down, but everyone who is like, this is unwatchable, it's garbage, what happened to the show, I don't believe it. There's some missteps there, but yeah, The Boys is still fun, still worth watching. The fact that they've committed to the next season being the last one, I think, is very promising. I'm not that familiar with Sidewinder and the Serpent Society either. I'm aware that they exist and that Marvel thought about doing them once before. Serpent Society. Yeah, see? So, as of whatever specific reshoot this was, the Serpent Society were in this movie. And their scenes were the first action piece with Captain America, Falcon, and Isaiah Bradley. They had Diamondback. But yeah, they literally stripped them out of the movie. And now are they repurposing stuff they had already shot? Or are they reshooting fully again to re-add them? They must be reusing some of their first crack at that, because like if they started over, that would be insane. If one of their three main films is Captain America sharing a bunch of stuff that I kind of don't even want to see, like, I'd rather not have these full movies spoiled for me, you know? Tell me that the movie exists, a couple cast details, maybe a director, a sprinkle of a synopsis or something, but I don't want to see a bunch of clips and things from a movie that's coming out in like 6 months. Like, just I know they'll announce some cool things and this will all be fun, but I'm a little disappointed that 20 minutes in they're just talking about their next movie. I guess they have to. What am I saying? They got to talk about Deadpool. They got to talk about Captain America. These are their current and next movie. Of course they need some attention. But if these Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, if that's like what they talk about today, it can't be. It can't be. They have to share new stuff. Prism says basically just waiting for Avengers 5 and Shang-Chi 2. Harrison Ford's out there. I would have grown a mustache if I had been asked. I wish they had asked him. Give him a big, like, Tom Selleck dirty stash or something. I just wanted to see. So, like, my camera's getting in the way of that a little bit. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Harrison Ford with a mustache. And my takeaway is that it's glorious. Yeah, he even had his beard all grown out. Come on, man, he could have done it. I don't know. Would have looked great. He could have pulled it off. But has there ever been when was the last time a president had a mustache? I get why they did it or whatever, but it would have been great. Do you know what's interesting? Hot Dog Guys is saying they put out a bit too much info. This was like a week ago. Feige was saying like we might explore literally just doing one trailer per movie in the future, rather than doing a teaser and a trailer and a second trailer and then like all these different promos and things. And if they actually want to keep things surprising and lean on the fact that people just need to know the movie exists for the most part a lot of the time and have like one good hook in the trailer there, then yeah, stop spoiling everything. Stop it. Quit doing it. Harrison, I'm proud to become a member of the Marvel Universe. I've been watching fantastic actors have a good time, and I wanted a piece of that. Well, I'm glad he's coming into it from a non-cynical perspective like that. That he's like, you know what? A bunch of people I know seem to be having a blast doing this. I want to have a blast doing this. In front of Deadpool versus Wolverine, there was a 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark, of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman talking about the making of the movie, just as kind of a lead-in. I think it was maybe even before trailers. Like, it was just like a thing that the theater was showing. And Hugh was just saying it's the most fun he's ever had making a movie. And I think you can tell. I think I don't know if it's the best thing ever or whatever. I had a ton of fun with it, and it's clear they did too. So yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, go check it out if you're curious at all. Well, I'm hearing in the chat that the Thunderbolts have walked out on stage. I'm not sure which where you're following along with that, where that's taking place now. Looking forward to Harrison answering a bunch of Marvel questions he doesn't care about. Absolutely. I hope people don't even bother. Just leave him alone. If you ask him about some deep cut comic stuff, he's not going to know or care. But all those interview clips are going to be gold, so maybe it's worth it. I'd like maybe a Fantastic Four teaser, but something small, similar to the wholesome art that they used to announce it. That 60s style art was cool as hell. And it has me really excited for what they're doing with that. And Matt Shackman, is that his name? Where Matt Shackman. I'm really excited for what he will hopefully do with it. Pedro Pascal was a super unexpected pick. I think he's really fun and silly. I don't know if he's my favorite choice for the role, but I know he'll be great still, and he can anchor a movie without a doubt. Vanessa Kirby didn't even come to mind for me for Sue Storm, and in hindsight, it's like, yeah, she's perfect for that. I couldn't have done better. Very happy with it. Joseph Quinn, never in a trillion years would I have guessed him for Johnny Storm, but I think he's phenomenal, and his career is doing such cool things right now. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Eben Moss Bacharach in The Bear, if you're not watching The Bear's like one of the best TV shows going right now. He is so good in that show, and in the most recent season especially, he's good. He's good in all of it, but he has a couple scenes and episodes in this where I'm like, God, he's so good. And if he can add some like humanity to Ben Grimm and like play around with that, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. Ralph Ineson, Galactus, that's going to be so sick. So what do we got here? Ooh, okay, we're getting the Thunderbolts. David Harbour came out dressed as the Red Guardian. Guys, I sent that email and we all said we were going to dress up because it was Comic-Con. Is he wearing, like, I don't know where that one is in its production. Are they filming Thunderbolts yet? It was supposed to be mid-June, last 6 months. Not expected to be impacted by writer's strike. Okay, they did end up start filming it. Oh, that was last June. Okay, they started in February. It wrapped. Yep. Okay, so they wrapped it. So this is very possibly, I figure just a little bit of a reminder for what the previous version of that costume was. There we go. That's better, isn't it? So there's his previous costume. Pretty good. It was a good costume. I dug it. A little bit more armored up this time around. Friggin' ads. Let's see. He still has the star in the center. It's kind of more outlined. It looks like yellow instead of white based on this picture. He's got that beard all grown out again. Generally not a ton has changed. More armor, more yellow, I think is kind of what we're mostly seeing there. That's cool. It's cool to tease the new costume. I like that. Let's see if Nexus Point has a different angle on that. I enjoy that he's doing it in character. David Harbour, man, we love ya. Florence Pugh, heck yeah. Didn't do the costume. That's fine, I get it. I was the full cast. The full cast is out there now. It looks like Sebastian Stan on the far side there. Actually, now I can't tell because all of a sudden I'm like, well, there's a couple of them who look like they could be Sebastian Stan. Who all else is a part of that? Oh yeah, they brought back Ghost. Wyatt Russell. That's him right there for sure. That's probably Ghost, one of those two. Actually, shit, sorry, it's so hard to tell from that far out. Is Julia Louis-Dreyfus there? Hard to, maybe that's her. And oh yeah. So she might. It's impossible to tell from that distance. There's like more people on stage here than I think I was expecting for the known cast of that movie. Is it possible they'll be reviewing a few more? Oh, the Hollywood Handle is also a good one. I'll look that up. We might as well have Hollywood Handle. We might as well have a few sources on the go. All right, so let me kind of catch back up with things here. Vanessa Kirby's great. Mission Impossible, true, and I just like didn't see it. It didn't occur to me or whatever. Just a blind spot. He's hulking out on stage. This reminds me of Stan Lee hulking out in The Simpsons. Oh yes, that totally was him on the far side in the cool guy jacket. Look at you. Look at Sebastian. It's like one of those things where hindsight, it's like, yeah, Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, that's phenomenal. That's A++ casting. Oh yeah, it is also funny that David Harbour is literally also Frankenstein in DCU. Guy's got a lot on the go. So we got the full cast coming out kind of like one at a time here. So maybe I think it's okay that I'm streaming this. If they're posting it on Twitter, surely it's okay for me to like react and stream to it. I don't think this is considered a leak or anything. I really don't know who these two guys are at the far side. Am I crazy? Who are they? Who am I missing? Bill Foster? Oh, I'm pretty sure there's an actor called Bill Foster. That threw me off big time. Ben Foster is who I'm thinking of. Sebastian Stan says Florence Pugh stands out in Thunderbolts. Yeah, water is wet. She's amazing. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina. She is after power control, and I would say just generally she wants to kick ass. So she must be one of the ones out there then. Oh, is that her there? I think it would have made sense to walk her out first or whatever, but I'm thinking maybe that's her. Taskmaster and Ghost, Julia. Yeah. So I don't know who those two dudes are. Yeah, they're really not sharing a lot, are they? It's kind of the general vibe in the chat here, and I agree with that. And this sort of thing, what a nothing thing. I don't care that someone in the movie said someone else in the movie was good. I would be more interested if you said, wow, David Harbour stinks it up. He really dragged that movie down. like it's like a non-update. We're hungry for real juice, Oh, is Sentry's actor there? Is Sentry supposed to appear in Thunderbolts now that Steven Yeun isn't oh shit. Yeah, I forgot they already recast him. I like Louis Pullman. So he's kind of more blonde. That's got to be him at the far side there. Probably. So that guy, that's the one guy I can't figure out. Who we missing? It's that Josh Mickle as Bob's dad? What does that even mean? Obviously those two aren't there. Yeah, I have no idea. Mixed feelings about the direction they took it with Taskmaster. I'm not mixed. I disliked it. wasn't good. I've only seen that movie the once, so I don't know. Maybe if I revisit it, I would think different. But my memory of it was that it kind of stunk and that didn't work very well. It's like having 9 lives. How many are left? Try being immortal like Deadpool or Wolverine. Just more of the cast arriving. Yeah, the connection to Black Widow would have been cool if the movie were better. Yeah, that Black Widow movie being like a riff on Mission Impossible was perfect. That was exactly what that movie should have been. I'm not even that upset that they made it after her character died. I know that's stupid and they shouldn't have done it that way, but it didn't bother me the way it did other people. Now that it's out, just watch it in a different order if you care, you know? But yeah, it just wasn't that good of a movie is the bigger problem. It was like, okay. Geez, and how that was that the start of the slump? Because that was like that was the first one that they had to release during lockdowns. Had to. They didn't have to, but they like did a home release, so it was never going to do well in the theaters. Yeah, we were just off Endgame. Everyone loved it. Far From Home, pretty good, resounding success. Black Widow at home. I did see Shang-Chi in theaters. Does that make sense? Yeah, that must have been things opening back up, I guess, because I did see that in theaters, and I think it rules. Third act, a little sloppy, too much CGI, but overall, that movie rules. Eternals should have been like a 6 to 8 episode series. They tried to do way too much, too many characters. It was hard to get invested in. Beautiful. What a waste of Chloe Zhao. It's unfortunate because it just didn't work as a movie, in my opinion. No Way Home, tons of money. Debatable how good the movie was. Really fun, infinite amounts of fun, but like I've never gone back to it. I've never rewatched it. Multiverse of Madness. I love that movie more than the average. I think that movie ruled, but it suffered at like the box office, and it was fine. It was fine. Like, cause how did it do actually? Pretty good, pretty fucking good. It did really well. Okay, so like, but people were iffy on the reception. Thor: Love and Thunder. I liked it more than most, but it wasn't that great. Black Panther was, but like they've just been stumbling for a while here, guys. We all know it. Are they going to reveal it'll be titled Dark Avenger? Well, it's just Thunderbolts, right? Like are you thinking the asterisk means they're going to change the title? Because I assume that has something to do with the fact that they are not the Thunderbolts, because it's not Thunderbolt Ross bringing the team together. They're like co-opting his name or something like that. But that'd be funny if the asterisk meant that it was a temporary title. Yeah, this is painfully slow panel. Are they gonna like they haven't shown anything in like 20 minutes? It's just the actors out there saying that the movie they made is worth seeing. Surely they're showing clips from it here. Everyone's gonna love me in Thunderbolts. I already loved Wyatt Russell, man. That guy's amazing. Having him in the MCU at all is a great pickup, and having him as John Walker, is that the character's name? I'm hesitating on that. John Walker, yeah. That was such a great pickup. Just generally very excited about that. I think that'll be cool. So I already agree with that. I believe you. I believe you, Wyatt. What's my opinion on Eternals? Just that it wasn't long enough. A movie was never going to be enough for the scale of story they were trying to tell. You want it to be hundreds or whatever it was, thousands of years long, and have like 8 characters and this big, massive, spanning universal ramifications or whatever the hell. It couldn't be a movie. That was never going to work. And so the movie just struggles the entire time to keep up with itself. So it's a beautiful movie, and there's so many interesting ideas, and in so many ways that was kind of what they needed, and it just wasn't. It shouldn't have been a movie. This is my number one opinion. Zombie Doctor Strange is my beloved. I agree. That shit was phenomenal. Someone said Twitter crashed. Not calling it that. It's stupid. It's a terrible name. You know what? If they're just showing clips for a second, that gives me 2 seconds to go do something I've been kind of keeping my eye on. I'll be back in like a minute tops. But the upside of all that is cat number 2. Everyone, this is Banjo. We've said hi to Misty. Now Banjo's in here. This cat is both more chill in the sense that she's okay with me picking her up and things, but she's insane. She's a little bit of a psychopath. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to have her hang out with us for a little bit. You're just gonna camp out up there and flash your butt on camera, though? Is that fluffy pants? Look at those pants, so much fluff. Where you going, Banjo? Okay, there we go. I kind of wanted to point her so she could jump to the futon more easily. Are they seriously, when they say we're going to talk about 3 movies, did they seriously mean Captain America and Thunderbolts? Because that's stupid. And so now is the next thing Fantastic Four? There's no way. I refuse to believe it. Maybe they're saying the focus will be on those 3 movies. The next 3 movies coming out, details about those. But that's the focus. And then at the very end, when they need to be building the hype in the last like 15, 20 minutes of the panel, they're going to be like, bam, 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 here's the other movies we have coming out. Because there just won't be that much to share. So they'll be pretty speedy, I think. They're saying they revealed that Val bought Avengers Tower. That's really funny. That's really, really funny. People have been theorizing Oscorp and stuff. I like the idea of basically evil Avengers buying the Avengers Tower. That's great. It breaks my heart Sam Raimi went on record saying he would do Secret Wars, and they don't seem to be treating him as a possibility. I don't know. Based on scale of number of characters and stuff, I don't know if he'd be the best choice. But if they let him cook, if they let him do his thing, oh, that could have been so fun. Okay, so let's catch back up on things. I keep splitting my focus, and yeah. So they showed a trailer. Interesting, cool. Because that one is 10 months off. Less, I guess, technically, kind of. So I've a first teaser, I guess, yeah. Ghost's new costume. I don't know if I need to be seeing those details currently. All the cast members with Matt Jackman. Okay, but they aren't. Are they going to come out? Are they going to be a part of this? Interestingly, oh my God, cats are troublesome animals sometimes. They did a good job of making them look nearer in age than they all actually are. Because let me double check that. Pedro's pushing 50. I don't know if he's actually quite 50 yet. Not quite, 49. She's 35, 36. Joseph Quinn, like 29, 30, 33 or something. He might be a little older than I'm thinking. 30. And Eben is like 40 something, 47. Him and Reed being a similar age, but then Vanessa's like quite a bit younger, and then her and Joseph are closer in age. I don't know. Yeah, that cat is really fluffy. It's like super duper fluffy. It's amazing. She's so nice to pet. Both the cats are soft. She's like indescribably soft. Whoa, they haven't even started filming. Okay, but that's interesting. So you're getting a idea that, okay, Johnny Storm is going to have his head shaved, which that's pretty standard, isn't it? I think it is. I'm curious how much we'll actually see of Ben Grimm in the film. They've clearly got Pedro kind of dyed in a little bit here. Are they going to give him the silver streaks? I don't know. It's described as a retro future of the 60s. That's so cool. That's going to be so cool. And then, oh man, who the hell was it? I think they cast, oh my God, what's her name? Poker Face. Um, um, or no, not poker. Yeah, poker face is the word I want. And Russian Doll. Raspy voice, Orange is the New Black, Natasha Lyonne. She was cast in this movie. I'm pretty sure. And it would be so funny if she was the little helper robot, Robbie or whatever. I forget what he's called. But I think that her voice coming out of a little snarky little robot would be great. Matt Shackman says they went to the desert to find the best type of rock to make the thing out of. I mean, why wouldn't you make it out of like a fake orange rock? Does it need to be a real rock? I don't know. That's funny, I guess. Pre-shoot material is being shown. So, like, he has an old school accent. What does that mean? Has an old school accent as Reed Richards. I mean, does that just mean not his natural accent? That's cool. That's cool that they filmed things prior to the movie filming. They're clearly taking it seriously and playing around with it. Yeah, Natasha Lyonne, yeah. I think they will fill in a few more these. I think before this panel's over, they will still fill those in, because right now they are currently in the process of earning a bunch of goodwill, and they're slowing things way the hell down. 3 movies in 2022, 3 here, 1 here, and then 4 the year after. But it's like they're probably not going to do another one of these panels till like after Secret Wars, like 3 years off probably. So I think if they were ever going to fill these in, now is the time to do it. I guess they could do it next year, but they just don't do this every year, and I don't expect them to start doing it every year. But that's such a out of my rear end guess, so I don't know. Yeah, there's so many things that how they referred to it, traditional accent, old school accent. What the hell does that mean? Are people commenting on that? Like, what does that shit mean? Where's SDCC? I think they're holding out on us on purpose. Like, it'll all come at the end. The Fantastic Car is an old Cadillac. Amazing. Fantastic Four First Steps. Interesting. Obviously, that's telling us a lot about like what the movie will. Just the fact that it's, I don't know, an origin or whatever. It doesn't quite have the tongue-in-cheekness that Homecoming did. I'm okay with it. I think picking a Fantastic Four first, have the I think that works, But like, yeah, I don't know. It helps distinguish it from the other existing ones. Personally, I kind of like that James Gunn came in and was like, you know what? I'm dropping Legacy. I'm just going to call this movie Superman. And so I feel like they could have done that. But, same as Spider-Man, they're carving out their own thing a little bit more clearly by giving it a subtitle. Filming coming up. It'll stay true to the comics. I mean, if they, after all this, they were like, we're doing a totally new thing. You're not even going to recognize these Fantastic Four. Like, what was the point of anything? So yeah, kind of assumed that. Oh, Michael Giacchino. Giacchino, I'm adding an N there. Giacchino will score Fantastic Four. He should direct Midnight Suns. He is my top pick for that. This guy is incredible. Oh, sick. He has a feature film coming out. Probably a horror, if I had to guess. But his contribution to films is insane. A bunch of this stuff I haven't seen. The Batman. He was so good in The Batman. Or like what he did with was so good. But are they just saying he only did that? No, he did the full score, right? Yeah. And his score for The Batman was unreal. No Way Home, I honestly can't even remember. Yeah, I don't know, man. There are many times where I feel like cool soundtracks have come up, and I'm like, who did that? And then you look it up, and it's Michael Giacchino. And then he got to direct that Werewolf by Night, and he scored it himself, and it was like, oh, top to bottom, this guy had a vision, and like was clearly given the space to do it, and it was so sick. And so I want him doing Midnight Suns. I think he's earned that. I think it would be so cool. So I got a little bit of a hope there. The full cast on stage. Yeah, the shaved head, dyed up mustache and stuff. Look at all fashionable. Everyone's looking all cleaned up. Early footage of Galactus showing his face peering through a building. Cool, I guess. I have no idea. Like, are they gonna have what's the guy's name? Ralph? Are they gonna have him? Yeah, Ralph. Having an actual face? Is it gonna be like Thanos, where it's Josh Brolin, but it's fully replaced? Or like, I'm curious what they'll do for that. Pedro, Matt Shackman and I have known each other for 25 years. I'm curious what from. And we had the same talent manager, and he almost became my roommate in 99, but he saw the place and said no. I've never heard that before. I had no idea those two had a history. That's super funny to me. So did they just kind of knew each other? He went to Yale. Is that Pedro's own history? Where how do I find him quickly? Are you kidding me? Pedro, there he is. Yale? Didn't go to Yale. New York University. Who knows how they knew each other. I thought that was an interesting detail. I got distracted. Let's see. We got predictions that a Blade delay is coming. I wonder, because who do they have attached to that currently? They do have a new director. Holy shit, they don't. Right, they've really recently canned or lost Michael Green. No, that was the newest scriptwriter. Demange, I don't know, is who they most recently lost. They have like 16 months, 15 months. If they lock in a director like today and they have a script ready, they could do it. But there's a chance that one's getting delayed. That's not a bad guess. Let's do a refresh and see what sort of news we got here. We're the only Brits in the cast, so we're going to make everyone go to the pub since we're filming in London. Vanessa Kirby on her and Joseph Quinn are building a sibling bond. That's so funny. The closest ones in age, they're both Brits. That's funny. Oh yeah. I am bothered by the way they changed Miss Marvel's powers. Definitely, I assume that was to not conflict with Reed Richards or whatever. But it's like, give them the same powers, then have them meet each other and have Reed be able to provide some insight and help her deal with her strange body horror superpowers or whatever. Yeah, changing that stuff was very annoying. I disliked that back when that happened. Yeah, first look at Galactus. We're not getting a look at that one. We're all going to work very hard to bring a feeling of family to this film. I don't think I've laughed so much in a rehearsal period before. I can't believe, now that I'm thinking about it, that they didn't call it Fantastic Four First Family or Family First. You could flip it on its head like that. If it's a film about family and they are Marvel's first family, then you have Fantastic Four Family First or First Family. You could, if there was the First Family, then it would be the same as like the first Avenger, where it's just kind of more of like a comic book. Hey, this is what this movie is. It's like if you had titled it The Invincible Iron Man or The Incredible Hulk, just Fantastic Four. But then if it was Family First, then it's a bit of both. And so I don't know, first steps, I guess, but like it's a little bit of a weird one. The chat's getting impatient for some actual big reveals. Oh yeah, everyone's talking about Mia Goth being in Blade. I forgot. She has been attached to that movie so long that the character she was cast to play is no longer in the script. That's my understanding of how that's evolved. But she's still attached to the movie, which is so stupid. They had that, oh shit, he was an old. Is it Aaron Pierce? Alex Pierce? Those sound wrong because aren't those the guy from like Winter Soldier? I'll recognize it when I see it. Aaron Pierre. I was basically there. I was genuinely very excited for him being in Blade, and they lost him during the rewrites and things. I think that's too bad. He has, as much as I apparently am not able to recall his name just yet. I think he's a big up and comer, and like it's a little too bad they lost him. Fantastic Four will appear in both Avengers movies. I think we knew for sure they'd be in Secret Wars. It really, really, really depends what the hell Avengers 5 becomes. So we're going to go from so many years of being deprived of Fantastic Four to like, bam, 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 they're going to be in everything. And it makes me wonder, are they going to do this movie, Avengers, and then keep going? Or are they going to do a reboot and a new cast? And this is them kind of just messing around, and they'll go younger the next time around. Or like, it begs a lot of questions for what their long-term planning looks like right now. They have so many characters, so many are like aging out of the roles. And, you know, you end up, what is it? Doctor Strange movies were 6 years apart. Like, the more that stuff happens, the less audiences are going to care and the less actors are going to care. Like, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. got to play those characters for 10 years and got to have like 10 appearances as the characters and flesh them out across all that. And they kind of just seem like they're not really going to have that anymore. That's the Fantastic car. They literally brought it in. That is funny. Oh, I see the Cadillac shape and they kind of curved off the bottom. Like, makes me think of sharpening a hockey skate. The Russo brothers are actually coming back. Wow. That's crazy. That was a headline like a week ago that they were talking about bringing those two back. That's the sort of Marvel playing it safe stuff that I was kind of expecting. I wasn't certain, like that's the type of thing. I wasn't necessarily calling that one. I kind of thought these two would feel over it or whatever, but that's crazy. That's genuinely crazy. And what they've been making since is garbage anyways. I cannot explain to you how shitty this movie was. They had Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans in a $200 million action budget movie, and it was such dog shit. It's such a bad movie, and it's even with the same writers, and it kind of called into question a little bit. It's like, did these guys just fluke out, or like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. I think they've earned a little bit of like trust or whatever that they can do it, and so I understand going back to them. That's legit. Another look at the car there. Pretty cool. Russo brothers on stage talking about their Avengers films. Do we got a title for that one yet? Maybe not yet. Maybe they'll announce that today. We're at the end of their hour. Is it possible this was their big thing? They talked about their three main things and they announced directors and not even a title for the Avengers movies. There's got to be more to it than that, right? Because like, if that's it, that'd be insane. People in the chat are saying Blade got delayed, and I'm refreshing things, and I'm not seeing that come up. So I didn't want to like jump the gun. So instead, I'm just giving it the context that I'm not seeing that reported. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that news is coming from. It would be shocking. It'd be shocking if they didn't delay it. Oh, that is an interesting point. Hot Dog Guy's just saying it's confusing how Marvel casts before they even have ready scripts. So what do they base it off of? Because for Fantastic Four, it seems like who's big at the moment. I think for Fantastic Four, for something like that, it's like they got the director involved. So you've got Matt Shakman. He's got a vision of what he wants that movie to look like. We all know who the Fantastic Four are and how they should relate to each other. And so if he knows what he wants that movie to be, approximately, then you can start casting based on who has chemistry, who fits well together on screen. And that matters more than matching the actor to the script. You know you will have those four actors no matter what. And because of the way Marvel plans things, it's like, okay, we know we're going to have Galactus. We know we're going to have blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're getting some new information here again. And so I think they know enough ahead of time. Even though the script isn't in place, they know the ingredients that have to be there. And the director has a vision. You start screen testing people. So I get it. I get how they cast ahead of time. It's sure bit them in the ass for Blade, but so strange that we are getting a logo reveal for Secret Wars first, which makes me think that that top of the thing leak that was saying X-Men versus Avengers, that might be what they're considering their big reveal here today, if not one of the only, if not the only. So there's a chance that they're holding out for a second. But if Fantastic Four is going to be in both, I think they would get in the way of trying to tell an Avengers versus X-Men story. So that might be a little too crazy. Maybe that's not happening. Because, man, dusting off all the old Fox X-Men actors for a last hurrah there, that'd be fun. I mean, Avengers will get retitled. Doomsday. Oh, shit. So it's Doctor Doom then. So is Fantastic Four gonna set the stage a little bit for that? And then this will be Avengers versus Doom? And then that... So after all that stuff of people saying they should just replace Kang with Doom and people being too soon, that's too rushed, he needs more, are they actually going to race ahead of themselves and introduce Doom so that they can do that? Oh, they even made it all green. This is nuts. I cannot believe. Oh my God, the Doctor Doom's behind them. I cannot believe that they actually are writing out Kang. What are they going to do? How are they going to explain where that left off? It was hugely important to Quantumania and Loki season 2. Like, what the fuck? What are they going to do with that? All right. Oh, what? That is insane. That is insane. He's talented enough to do it, obviously. He's just making that series, which I haven't watched yet, so I'm blanking on some specifics. I'll use this. I'll use this to quickly get to his page. But it's like the Old Boy director. And he plays like 5 characters in it or whatever. I'm trying to get to this as quickly as I can. We'll get back to the announcements. The Sympathizer. And he plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guy's got range. Robert Downey Jr. is so talented. It's weird that, they won't have a Romanian actor, but like, that's crazy. New mask, same task. Very accurate looking everything. I can't believe it. How much money do you think they backed up on his front step to make him come back? And obviously in Secret Wars, a variant of Iron Man is going to be there, and they're going to have Doom and Iron Man, right? Probably. Like, it's gotta be. Nexus points falling behind. Here we go. So let me catch up backwards here. Doomsday. Downey as Doom. Crazy. That's such bonkers shit. And directed by the Russo brothers, so you're bringing that all back together. And it's still going to come out in May. Like, obviously, they're making all these plans behind the scenes and have been for quite some time. It's still 2 years off, a little bit less. But it's a little bit surprising to me that neither of those changed dates. I guess they redated them quite a while ago at this point. So they must have kind of known, That would have been the most bonkers, unreal thing. That's so good. That's too good. Throws the shades on. He's too cool, man. Too cool for the MCU, kind of. The MCU is great. It's cool. It was amazing for his career and all that. At the same time, he just is too cool. Downey Jr., too cool. This is weird. Why is it like in gray text like that? Now it's normal. Whatever. Twitter being weird. Unclear if this is the end of it or not. Wow. So that's wow. Like, is he gonna be in the Fantastic Four movie as Doom, Or is he just going to be a Doom variant? That would be an interesting way to do it, is if he is playing Doctor Doom, but he's still playing a variant of Tony Stark, and it's just a version of Tony that became Doom, and, you know, they show off against him, Doomsday, Secret Wars, and then they leave themselves room to do a new original Doom down the line? I don't know. I don't know. When they decided to move away from Kang, whoever sat down and was like, what if we brought Robert Downey Jr. back as Doom? Who came up with that pitch? I don't think they're going to announce any X-Men stuff. I really don't think so. It would just get too in the way of this. And if they're not doing Avengers versus X-Men in there, they're saving it for after Secret Wars. They're going to wait till they kind of do a little bit of cleanup with the multiverse stuff, retire a few characters, then they can cast super young and everything, you know? So I really doubt we're going to hear anything X-Men related. What do I tell you? I like playing complicated characters. Look at his cool green suit on under the little like cloak there. They had Daniel Destin Craig out there. I'm almost certain. So if they don't talk about Shang-Chi 2, that would be kind of weird. What happened to Nexus Point? They faint when Robert Downey Jr. revealed like took the mask off there because they just dropped off. That's weird, man. It's like crazy. It's cool. I don't know how I feel about it because it's just kind of like what the hell? Where do they go with that? Snyderverse is trending. Is that people just being ridiculous again? It's gotta be, right? It is. It's just people talking about the fact there's new DC. I don't think DC has like in-depth DCU panel or anything. These the updates are kind of not really coming in. Maybe I'm just being impatient because that's only a minute old apparently. Wild. Absolutely wild. And that feels like that's probably their big finisher for today. Does that mean they're planning to come back in like a year to reveal more stuff? Because like revealing what these are just randomly through some, I don't know, investor meeting or something, rather than doing it now while you have everyone's attention. Oh, do you know what? These don't have dates attached to them. I didn't really think about that before. So they could just get slotted into those spots. If they go this whole time without sharing anything about Spider-Man, I'll be shocked. The fact that they've waited so long, like you just went and made like the most money possible, and by just I mean like 3 years ago, and we still have no like information on that. I assume it's more Sony's fault than anything that we don't have new information on Spider-Man 4. But like, I'm a little shocked if all they did today was talk about their existing movies, and I count these as existing movies. The updated plan here is interesting, but honestly, it just is like I said way earlier, they're playing it safe. This is just something really bankable. People love Doom. People love Downey. Let's just do that. Like, you guys didn't want to try to salvage Kang somehow. It's a multiverse. Any actor could have played that role. It's the amount of damage control they're playing is comical and fascinating all at once. And I'll be watching everything opening weekend. Or near to that. Is that looking like it, maybe? I don't know how there could be more, because the panel is surely just done, right, at this point. This is just people reacting to the stuff that's already been announced. Yeah, I kind of fail. I don't know who's on stage after them. Their announcement of Doom brought down Twitter. I don't know how to deal with the Doom news either, because it's kind of ridiculous. It's very interesting, but it's kind of ridiculous. And so I'm not that excited for it. I'm curious. What's the Leonardo gift from like Django? You know, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention or whatever. I'm at the curiosity stage. Oh shit! Yeah, they did maybe actually crash Twitter. uh, let's see. So they're not updating that live. Updates. Who's out here live updating this stuff? Russo bros confirmed a direct with sizzle reel of their past Marvel moments. They came out to a big Russo chant. They say they really believed they were done after Endgame and left them creatively spent. Yeah, I can tell the Gray Man was apparent. Through a very special story, they found a way back to come back. The story that made them fall in love with the comics, Secret Wars. But first, there has to be another story. That one's very important, a very important character who is required to do justice. Doomsday. Doom's being played by the greatest actor in the world, Downey Jr. Doomsday's coming 2 years, then Secret Wars. Panel closes out with Bye Bye Bye, which is, it was just a thing in Deadpool v Wolverine. I think they shouldn't do This Is Tony Stark, multiverse Tony Stark as Doom, and kind of, I think that would be more interesting, but hell, I don't know. I really don't know. That was it. That was actually the end of that. Hey, what are they gonna do with Kang? Like they had spent so much time setting that up. That is unbelievable that they just fully ditched it. But I think that's the end of it. What a letdown of a panel overall. Yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm glad to have set aside the time for it, because like, you never know what could have come of this. But like, wow, was I ever expecting more? I think a lot of people were. The cat is clawing my carpet some more. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up. I think I'm shutting down. Not anything more to talk about, because they really didn't announce enough to unpack a lot of what was just shared. We knew so much of that already. Too bad. But, you know, could be a fun few years. But now just tell me about Spider-Man. Just waiting on Spider-Man. Let's just say Loki and the ants defeated Kang. Dusted. Done. They gave us confusing news. Yeah, primarily. That's true, isn't it? The legacy of this franchise and the fumbling lately, just phenomenal. Just so interesting to me. But I don't have anything more to say about it currently. Thank you guys for tuning in with me here. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Peace out.